Hello everyone, Charles Walhingford back again with another cigar pairing, and today we have a good pairing in the cold. We have the 1792 small batch Kentucky straight bourbon, and then we also have paired with the My Father's La Bijou. My Father's La Bijou. This should be a perfect pairing. I have no question, or I'm pretty sure this is going to be a perfect pairing. All right, I'll get back to you once we get deeper in this cigar in the first third. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the first third. Let's talk about the cigar first. Again, this is the My Father's Bijou, La Bijou, 1922. This cigar has a Cuban-esque smoothness to it, and that's always nice. The flavors that are coming out, dark chocolate covered raisins. You know how much I love dark chocolate, and an added bit of raisins. It's a little bit of earthiness to it also. The wrapper is a oscuro wrapper, and we have inside Nicaraguan long film. This cigar is a highly rated cigar. It's obtained a 97 rating, and it's really nice. Now let's talk about this straight Kentucky bourbon, the 1792 small batch. The 1792 small batch, I wasn't really impressed with at first. Now it has good flavors. It has a basic bourbon, definitely standard bourbon flavor that you're gonna get. But when I was drinking it, I just wasn't extremely impressed with it until I started pairing it with a cigar. It did a really good job. I've had other cigars with it, and I wanted this My Father's to be the one that went with it. But when I paired it, the flavors really came about. You're gonna have a bit of spice, and it is kind of strong, like any bourbon should be, and it does have a bit of sweetness. Now together, also this has a very loose straw, so make sure you govern how you take in this cigar. But together, I'm picking up a bit of walnut. Oh yeah, that's really good. That's really good. They're amplifying each other, and that's great. Now, here, let me tell you this. You will need to pay attention to order. Order sometimes makes a difference, sometimes it doesn't. It makes a difference in this pairing. This pairing, you need to smoke first, then drink. Smoke first, then drink. That makes the difference. I found out there was a bit of canceling out when I reversed it. Drink, then smoke. But when you smoke, then drink, that's when the extra flavors and the amplification of flavors and the extra flavor of walnut truly comes out. All right, guys, I'll get back to you once we're in the second third. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're back in the second third. Now, the second third with this cigar, not to say completely different, but it's definitely an intensity of flavor. And then that dark chocolate really is coming out right now. And together, this is going to be most likely, well, this is a perfect pairing. This is a perfect pairing because of that new flavor that's coming out. That walnut is really nice. It's a pleasant surprise. Like I said before, this 1792 small batch, I wasn't really impressed with this straight Kentucky bourbon. I've had Kentucky bourbon that was a lot more intense with flavor, a lot more layers to it, but this pairs really well, and I am really happy about that. The pairing, I honestly don't know if I would actually drink this. Well, I could, but drinking this without a cigar, it would be absolutely something missing. All right, so what am I experiencing in the second third? Before I get to that, I want to let you know that this is a full body cigar. And this was a larger cigar. This is about, I think 6 or 7 inches. You need to have something with this cigar, because what will take place with these larger cigars, I prefer Robustos, but this was what was available. With the larger cigars, your palate gets numb, or it gets used to what you're having, and it doesn't taste as good. But because I have this Kentucky straight bourbon, it's really allowing it to wake up that palate again. Say, hey, don't forget, we have 2 things going on, and that really works well with the brain. Again, you're gonna have those Cuban smoothness coming through. You have that chocolate coming through. It's definitely, wow, it's really strong right now. It wasn't as strong in the very beginning, but the second third of this, awesome, absolutely awesome. Also, you saw me watering the bourbon. You don't want to water too much. Watering will actually dull the flavors, and I had to practice and figure out what was the best amount of water for this. First shot, if you go by shots, I would add no more than a tablespoon. No more than a tablespoon, because it's only 46% ABV. If you add more than that, it'll get watered down too much. You do want to water your Kentucky straight bourbons for the most part, because it will tear up your tongue. It will numb your tongue. It will do a lot of things to your palate, and it'll just kill everything, because your palate will just be so numb. Again, this is 46, not 100. 100 would require more water. But man, this is a great pairing. All right, guys, let's go to the score. Before we get started with the score, I want to let you know I don't do a last third. I used to call it third. Reason being, if you don't have a perfect pairing by the time you get to the second third, you won't have a perfect pairing. It won't change on the last third. And it's not worth going through the whole thing and figuring out, I wonder if I have a perfect pairing or not. Well, we do have a perfect pairing, and I'm going to give this a 93. Now, the reason why I'm giving this a 93, and it has an additional flavoring of that walnut. That note of walnut is nice, but it's not as an intense killer combination. It's a great combination. Perfect pairing with it. There's no canceling out. There's no weird funky flavors that's happening. It's an amplification of flavor, but I'm not jumping up and down about this pairing. Yet it is still pretty damn good. If I could go back and try a different avenue, I may go with a really good cognac, something like an XO, one of your name brands like Cavassier or even Martell cognac. XO, I would just go with XO. Would probably do a really good job pairing with this cigar also. Secondly, I think that the other 1792, the full strength, the barrel strength, might be even nicer pairing with this cigar. But the small batch is still doing a good job. 93 is nothing to be ashamed of for the small batch. It's just not the absolute killer combination. A lot of times when I have a 95, that means it's great. A 95 and above, it means it's great, and it has an additional flavor. This has an additional flavor, but the combination isn't making me, like I said, jump up and down and scream. This is absolutely awesome. It's great. It is great, and I definitely suggest trying this cigar pairing. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment. I hope this helped you with your future cigar pairings, or I hope it helped you with learning more about the 1792 small batch and the My Father's Bijou. Like I said, I highly recommend this combination, but 93, really good. And don't forget, do this at the end of the day. Do not do this in the midday, because having this full body cigar and this very strong still aged spirit will not do you well if you're trying to operate heavy machinery. I'm Charles Walhingford. This is how I spend my money.